Welcome back to SideQuest, everybody. This is episode 3 of SideQuest, covering episodes 5 and 6. How's everybody doing today?
Sweet.
Pretty good.
So, coming up on episode 5, this was directly after when you guys fought the Riftwalkers, and you're coming back into consciousness, tied up, and each of you have a couple of flashbacks. What were your guys' general thoughts on those?
I expected Simon. He has a lot of trauma. He never unpacks it, and that dream just confirms a lot of Simon's insecurities a little bit. It's a nice memory, but trauma in the end.
Oh.
I tried my best with my meeting. Tried best to make a younger Gil, and it was kind of interesting. Kind of the first interaction between the two would be just the slight exchange of words.
Honestly, I expected Gil to just already have a full beard, eating like some jerky they just made.
Cigar in his mouth.
Yeah, just like a 10-year-old version of just what he is now.
But it's like, no, we just finished hunting. By the way, here's an apple bear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I had to deal with an owlbear, and Gil was like, you know what, I'm just going to scream at it. It's the worst that can happen.
Bear tactics. Scream at it. Oh, it's a grizzly? Never mind.
And then it got really confused, like, do I attack? What's happening?
That's how Gil became.
And then it just, like, got grabbed by vines and
People
yanked
don't
into the forest, like some fucking horror movie.
Honestly, I think the reason Gil doesn't talk as much is that he lost his voice so many times screaming at owlbears, and as the years went by, it just happened. And finally, like, he's just old enough, and his voice started to change and crack, so he can't scream at it anymore. Yeah, now he just and then they just run away now.
He doesn't even know, he just stares at it.
Gil has Stockholm Syndrome, but for the forest.
It's for something.
Yeah, he does.
Be the forest.
Not gonna lie.
For something. And Shivani.
Yeah, for REITHA, I mean, it was all very confusing for her. Stuff that she genuinely does not recall, so she felt very distant. But
Do you have any theories about what those memories were, or whose memories they were?
I personally kind of have suspended, like, you know me as a player, I'm full conspiracy theory mode. I've kind of suspended that for this character because she actively doesn't want to see it, you know? Because it's like, this is her whole life. Like, her life is so structured, and she hasn't had any agency. For the first time, she's discovering that, and she's discovering her own agency, and that is so disorienting. So I'm kind of sitting with that and not making any theories, and kind of just discovering it along with her, so that I can be the appropriate amount of shocked.
I do have a question, just because I don't remember their age. What is their age again?
She's 12.
She's 12? Okay.
Yeah.
So she keeps fluctuating in my head. So I just wanted to make sure where she's at right now. Because she just keeps getting younger in my head.
Yeah, no, it's just the general thing. Whenever you meet someone younger than you, you just look at them, you're like 12.
You're a baby.
You're like 12.
Yeah.
So Simon in his head, well, me, the player, has been slowly turning her from like, oh, she's 14. Oh, wait, no, she's actually 12. Wait, she's 10. No, she's why is the 6-year-old with us? How is she walking?
How can she talk so well?
No, and it's also like, imagine having like the most controlled life, and then suddenly being like, go out into the world.
Yeah, no, that's
figure your shit out. No direction.
Oof.
Like, that's absolutely cause for her regression, and she's like also being told by like Simon and Gil, like, no, you should be protected, you're a child, which is true, but at the same time it's so confusing kind of like, for her.
Like, for me, because like I grew up in a pretty conservative family, right? And then I got to middle school And it's like, all right, all of a sudden I'm going to a fully public school being exposed to things that I never thought I would be exposed to. And that is a very weird experience, which is also kind of amusing because I was about 12 at the time.
Yeah. I grew up, like, in a very deeply, like, academic family. And, like, I was in army school when I was living in India. And then I came here, I went to public school, which is much more chaotic. But at the same time, I still had, like, extracurriculars, so my hours were all accounted for. And then college, it was, like, super free. So it was just, like, very, very disorienting to not have every minute of every day accounted for. So just kind of applying that to REITHA.
So we had some pretty limited interactions with the Riftwalkers. So what were your guys' first impressions of the Riftwalkers you did talk to, which were Ariel and Lyra, as well as Peter and Basil?
Pretty cool, honestly. They seemed like people we could have, like, hooked up along the way, and maybe in Simon's case, he would have been, like, very much like, hey, let us join, and we're going the same direction, safety in numbers, because they look like they can handle themselves. Me, the player, I sure as hell see an experienced adventuring party here. I sure hope they can keep us away from the dragon.
I was more sad, like, as REITHA, I was very much deeply in character for, like, episode 5, and I was just sad because I was like, oh, I've let my friends down, I've let everybody down, I hurt people, you know, this sucks. So she was very much in that self-pity mode, so I don't think she evaluated anyone other than these people hurt me and my friends, and I don't like them.
Gil is like 30% John Wick mode right now with these people. He's like gauging, like, how easy can I just take care of this problem?
Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
Also, they stole my stuff.
You were the one who started the fight.
Listen, it's not Han shot first. REITHA shot first.
Yes, but at the same, I did shoot first. I'm not denying that I didn't shoot first. They still snuck into my room and stole my stuff.
Yeah, how does that work out for lying to the party about your drug addiction? How that work out?
Well, she doesn't know that she has one, does she?
You know, when more than 5 people say that's cocaine, you should really consider maybe you've been misinformed and shouldn't have a snort. Or whatever.
But think about it. Think about how mindfucky it is. Her mom gave it to her. For all her purposes, like all of her knowledge, her mother gave that to her. It is her medicine. It is her way of connecting to her deity. It is the thing that helps her rest, get magical, powerful. Like, all these things have been put in her head.
Yeah, I get that. We're starting to find that out.
Yes, very sad.
But,
Anyway.
the problem is that, yeah.
So I'm doing my job.
You're doing your job. Man, I can't wait when you shoot the city guard or something.
No, I'm not going to do that. Well, no promises.
I wonder if Gil can buy wyvern poison.
Maybe you can extract it from your drake. Does the drake have poison?
No, it does not.
I could make the drake a poison.
At the most, I will give you basic poison for that.
I can convert their element to poison.
You're not. No, stop.
No. I'm not saying he can't do it without rolls, you know? He can't automatically just be like, oh, he has venomous bite, but like...
No, look, what we all do is take 2 levels of wizard, take transmutation, have an empty bottle on hand, and just make the common item wyvern poison. Duh.
Stop saying common. I know it's common, but stop saying it.
I will adjust rarities as needed.
Before that happens.
First you don't let him use his ranger abilities in an urban setting, and now you won't let us have poison for free,
You guys were in the middle of a fucking
Jon?
field. What do you want from me?
So maybe they're allergic to dandelions. We can throw pocket sand at them or something. Get a joke on it.
All right. Alright, any thoughts on Lucas using the favor to save Simon?
Yeah, I'm very curious why they did that. Like I thought they didn't have a great relationship, but that like a I hate you, you hate me, but we both work to each other and our benefits.
Yeah, so the main reasoning I had with that was back in episode 3 when we first were when you were calling in your favor, you brought it to the attention that it was basically a life debt and that he was never going to pay it off. So his thought was, okay, I need to figure out how to get this. And then he finds out that, you're not in town. You went in the direction of the Riftwalker camp and you didn't come back. So something happened, and this is probably a way for him to get out of ever having to deal with you again.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too. I scratch my back, you scratch mine. Or scratch your back, you scratch mine, kind of.
I'm more surprised he honored the life debt in general.
I mean, honor amongst thieves and all that.
Yeah, exactly. All thieves have is their honor.
There's literally a D&D movie called that.
For some reason, I thought that Simon brought up or mentioned the broker, and maybe I thought that maybe Lucas was trying to find a way, like if Simon wants to see the broker, something big is happening and he wants to get a cut of it.
Oh, and I'm Red String Girl?
Look, I just have composition. I have composition notebooks. I don't have red string.
Usually are.
We know you have red string. We know you have a poster board.
The red string is metaphor.
No, it's not.
It's
I
literal.
actually
It's very literal.
I don't have red string.
For the several games we played with you, we know
you
you carry
have
a
the
big
premium.
yard of red string with several campaigns.
Lies.
We know this already.
This is slander.
This is going to be one of the shirts that we sell. It's just going to be our logo, but with red string instead of just that one.
That'd be cool. I'm not gonna lie.
We're just a Charlie Day meme, but my face photoshopped on his.
Honestly, yes.
And then last thing for episode 5, thoughts on finding out that REITHA might be a noble.
You get to deal with it.
In my brain, she was fully nobody.
Man, everyone in the party is a noble but Simon.
Take that. You all thought it was Gil. Gil's not noble.
No, Gil is definitely a noble. No, Gil is, if anybody is 100% a noble, it is definitely, Gil was number 1 on that call sheet.
It would be the wild man. The least noble of all of the PCs.
Yeah.
Man, Simon's like hanging out with the nobility and they're holding out on him. He's
You
like,
know who
"What the
Simon
fuck?"
reminds me of? Who was the guy in Game
What's
of
up?
Thrones who was like friends with Tyrion?
Bronn.
Bronn. Yes.
Yes, Bronn was inspired by. Simon was inspired by.
Oh
Bronn.
my god, it's so perfect.
I see that. Yeah, I see that.
I always do for character creation. I always do like pick 3 fictional characters and then pick 2 flaws that you mix it in there. And I did Bronn, Trevor from Castlevania, and the last one I said like, how dark do I want to go? And I just said Punisher.
Mm.
That one's like in the corner if I ever need to pick from there.
Yeah.
Mine's a brick wall. I'm just imagining you guys like trying to turn him into a noble family. Like, he's noble, we promise. And Gil's just like picking his beard.
Honestly, I 100% do believe like if you ever get your nobility station and then people are trying to butter up to you, you say, okay, bring me the biggest deer you can find in this forest.
Bring me the
and
head of
you
an
may
owl bear.
Yeah.
If you can scare an owlbear, I will let you talk. Until then.
No, and then they say, you're like, but Sal, we can't. We're nobles. We have knights and stuff. And then you just throw them 3 knives. Go.
Alright, any other thoughts on episode 5 before we move on?
One of the things I do want to point out with Simon's attitude right now, because I know in the end, like, he was very fed up with REITHA. And the choices she made.
Understandably so.
Yes. I just want to clarify, like, Simon he's not regretting his choices of trying to help this kid out, but he's starting to get out of his own illusions of his grandeur from back in the day, because he's been projecting himself somewhat on REITHA.
This is like starting to feel a bit bigger than he expected it to be.
Yeah, it went from like, I'm going to teach you the ropes so you don't starve to death, because I just saw you as some dirty
Urchin.
little peasant girl. Yeah, urchin. And now this is now getting like, oh, you're nobility. Supposedly Gil is also nobility. What the hell did I walk into?
I'll deny it. I'll deny his noble status until
At a time when nobles are being actively hunted.
Yeah, actually, he's doing the smart thing, honestly.
I'll denies everything.
Imagine Simon in the end just turns all of us in.
huge reward.
Just like, I'm
100%.
done with this shit.
like, listen, keep pushing me. Watch, I'm like, over here, he's right here. They're right here.
Simon is like, guillotine for you.
I
and
can't
guillotine
believe they
for
found
you.
us again.
Who knew? Starts hiding notes like, where the fuck are you guys?
Good day, listeners. Billy here to take you away for just a moment to say thanks for listening in on our adventure. This was all done for those who want to join us in exploring this massive and wonderful world our friend has put together. Now onto the bonus features you can access on our other media platforms. Give us a follow on our Instagram at dungeondweebspod and check out our subreddit at reddit.com/r/dungeondweebs. To further help us grow, you can support us for as little as $5 a month on our Patreon. You can find us on patreon.com/TDD podcast or use a link on our Instagram page. Again, thank you for your time. Now let's see where we left off.
So, moving on to episode 6, you guys leave the Riftwalker camp after Lucas called in his favor and got you let go. And you're going to start traveling towards Cairnhold. And during the time, you guys have a couple of different interactions. Are there any that specifically stood out?
I'm gonna be honest, when you started talking about the devil in the forest, thought you were talking about Gil for a second and kind of boosted his ego. For the slightest sec.
Yeah, he sounded so sad when he was when you realized it was Aelwyn.
I was like, yeah, Gil's a devil. Sweet.
The screeching devil that scared the owlbear. Nope, never heard that one.
No.
REITHA was girl boss, gaslight, gatekeeping her way through this episode.
What the fuck? What the fuck is that sentence you just gave me? What is that? Who the fuck is that?
Boss, gaslight, dissecting. What?
I've been whiplashed and been told to fuck off on Twitter.
How
What the fuck was
How
that?
have you not heard this phrase? What do you mean?
I have, but like I've never heard a person say it. I've read it on a
Never.
post.
I didn't think
I've
it was
never
real.
heard that.
It's not possible.
Yeah, I was really being like, a child would have heard manipulation tactics and would be able to mirror them, probably. At least at 12.
Man. Fuck this kid.
You know what? Fuck this kid.
She's not using it against you. Be grateful.
Well,
Yet.
To be fair, do you think REITHA could gaslight Gil?
I don't think Gil has enough brain
I
cells.
think a lot of people could gaslight Gil.
That's like
Is that what we're treating Gil as? Is this the
the
intelligence threshold
character.
Yeah, the all the brains in that relationship went to Varuna.
First, she does have a higher, or she doesn't have a higher, but she has a high intelligence.
Does she have a higher intelligence than Gil?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna. That's so funny.
She has the same wisdom as Gil.
In my opinion, the interaction was yikes for REITHA and
Ariel.
Ariel, yes. I wanted to say something of Ariel legitimately should have been using scare tactics like this kid. I'm like, please, don't kiddie glove this one, please.
No.
But it didn't happen.
And I was like kind of a little pissed off at Ariel as myself, as like the player being like, why are you crying? This clearly traumatized 12-year-old is in front of you. Why are you crying right
You
now?
don't know her fucking issues, man. You need to remember also, like, so Ariel is 16 in this instance.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't know that, but I'm still like, girl.
Oh, I was picturing Ariel like a
20s,
Yeah, no.
yeah.
So Ariel is, or actually no, sorry, she's not 16. She's 18 at this point. It's a little uncommon. She's definitely the youngest of the Riftwalkers. And then, you know, when you brought up being sent away by your family, the whole crying thing. Like, any thoughts on that specifically? Like, what her backstory might be, considering she's from Serenica?
Oh, she's magic, and Serenica doesn't like magic. I mean, that's the simplest explanation that comes to mind, is that she was sent to Andalheim by her family.
Yeah, well, maybe we can go for that. Could be a lot worse. Huh?
Could be. Could be she was exiled for it.
Maybe she was sold, bartered off or something as a way of like maybe someone saw her do magic.
Like a Yennefer situation.
Could have been blackmail as well, somewhere around there.
That's sad.
Now you know why she's crying. See, don't shush her about crying.
I'm not saying that she did have a bad life. I'm like, maybe don't.
Don't cry in front of me. I'm the crack
So the
addict.
exact words were, sometimes when family sends you away, they don't want you back.
Yeah.
I do have this. Why is such bright colored hair? Like red, this makes sense because that's a normal hair color in a sense. But the blue, the ice blue, man, we're like 2 steps away from like a shonen here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the signature of the Ascended, though. It's just in term, like, if somebody has an affinity for nature magic, they might have green hair. You know?
Cosmo and Wanda are somewhere out there.
Yeah. Something like that.
Personally, right now, I kind of want to go to that place that is where all the Ascendants are, just because like Simon's hair color is pretty out there as well.
You'd fit in.
I'm curious of doing a weird sneaking in and taking whatever they do to get the radiation poisoning or whatever the heck they do.
I might want to find out a little bit more information about that before you go and hop in this wellspring of magic.
Oh, this is player. Let me rephrase that. This is player talking that stuff. Like, this is me, like, what if I press the button?
Gotcha.
Also, wolves, kind of the wolf bros, really cool. Really wish it wasn't a race thing.
Well, they are human, so it's actually not a race thing.
I thought they said they were born with it.
They were raised by the Norn. They weren't born Norn.
Yeah. Their mom was a spirit walker.
Yeah.
So it's
I
more
took
like
it
a
as,
cultural thing that you can learn or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Simon will not like the wherever the Nords are, which I'm assuming is the cold.
Yes.
Mhm.
So,
It is in the mountains.
I'm good. I'll take my city life, thank you.
Also, that when they were talking to Gil, and they were like, "How do you think of the urban life?" And Gil's like, "It smells."
Yeah, they're like, we get it. There was just a lot more snow where we grew up.
Yeah.
Which, I need to reiterate this again. It is currently winter in Julos.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
It's a good thing I'm wearing a lot of heavy clothes.
It is currently winter. Figured I should bring that up because I don't think we ever mentioned that after, like, the second take of the campaign. So, after all of those first general interactions, you guys get to camp. We had Simon and REITHA talk about their issues, and then REITHA pulled out the coin.
Ah, yes. My PTSD kicked in.
Yeah.
Let's, what's going on there?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, Simon considered breaking your arm for a second there.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, he wasn't all there. He saw the coin, and there was a lot of fight or flight going on in his head right there. There was a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness. He might have just taken the coin from you if you didn't start talking to him a little bit.
Yeah, no, like, after what happened with the Riftwalkers, REITHA feels, like, super guilty, so she just really wants to, honestly, just kind of make it up and be like super honest, because this is the one person who's protected her.
Yeah, no, there wasn't the protector there. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, she had no idea. She just thought that you were scared for her.
That's the funny part. He was, but there was also like a lot of more stuff going on there, like of why do you have it? How do you have it? The priest had it from
Right,
that
yeah.
one, and
Because
then like,
REITHA didn't see what he saw, right, John?
No, she did not. That was fully a memory of his.
Yeah, REITHA fully thought like you were being protective, like you knew something that she didn't, like, you know, like she had no idea what was going on in your head.
Yeah, there as you were talking, that little bits like it was enough to anchor him enough to see that like you in the moment, and he got out of the dark place he was in for a split second, and yeah, now is going through a weird like, okay, how did the old man get this? Was he in cahoots with whoever did this many years ago?
Oh man, Mordecai's like 30.
I mean, he still yes. Older than Simon. Also, when the well popped up, I wanted to grab the coin again and see what happens, but I've already let go, and I'm right now working with a drug-fueled child that's not afraid to lie to people's faces and get them in trouble.
Fair. Thoughts on the identify spell not working?
That's so interesting to me.
No, my answer is fuck you. Twice, by the way.
Yeah, but like, what? I'm like wondering, like, it would have to be like divine interference for that to not work. Like, that would have to be.
We don't know. It could be anything. It could be divine or dark natured. It could literally be just something in the coin. Maybe it's a living creature.
Yeah, could be something trapped in there.
So small note on that. There was the connection that you felt between the magic of the coin and REITHA's magic. You got the same arcane signature from both of those.
Yeah, because you rolled an Arcana check, remember?
I did. I just didn't think I was going to get a lot out of it.
Yeah. It is interesting, especially because it hasn't occurred to REITHA, but I know, like, I fully understand that it is now revealed that her divinity is not divine, it's fae.
I mean, yeah.
So...
Yeah, so let's talk about that dream.
I like your patron.
I do too, bitch.
Oh, what's that?
I'm so here for it.
She got a melted face in a veil of darkness and shit. Yeah. Fuck it, why not?
I want to paint her.
For her character, I kind of took a little bit of inspiration from one, the Raven Queen for the outfit, and then two, Hela from Norse mythology.
Ooh, so, good pull.
I was thinking Other Mother from Coraline.
Oh, I love that.
So
a little bit of that too.
So
yeah.
I was thinking something a little bit more horror based because you couldn't see their face. Not knowing it was blurry, I was picturing like a hag, like with the hunch almost deal. Like, but they don't have a hunch. It's like the clothing is making it look like they have a hunch, but their face is melting like a wax figure.
Yeah, this is kind of gonna be like a low-key niche reference, but because of like the melted features and stuff like that, I was imagining this character from this horror podcast called The Magnus Archives. And
oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, there's an entity called the Stranger in that, and one of the avatars of the Stranger is like this mannequin woman who's essentially like the circus master creature, and she's got like all these plastic like mannequin appendages, and it's like it's creepy.
Yeah, that's a trope that has been in horror for a while now. Just mannequins and melted features. Yep, that'll work.
Yeah.
So, I like your patron. I hope you keep going. Would I pray to this thing? Not happening.
What's more entertaining is that REITHA has no levels of warlock.
Yeah. I mean, a cleric...
This is fully a cleric thing.
A cleric and a warlock is the same thing. The difference is a cleric gets to have the long-distance relationship, and it's like come and go. A warlock is more personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like really interested to see why this kid Because I, like I've said this before, but I left everything in kind of Jon's hands. Like, it gave him tidbits about what I would know as a player for REITHA's life, and what REITHA wouldn't know, I left it up to Jon. So it's just like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to know more.
Honestly, the amount of autonomy you guys have given me with your characters is terrifying.
So, Jon, this is the deal. It's not that we want you to hurt us. It's just we want you to build up the bat, build up the damage, put the barbed wire on the bat, and just hit us straight in the face with it. We just want you.
Yeah, this is also like the first set of players that I've ever had from any of the three of you that I've actually had like a full-on plan for.
Oh, wow.
I know all of your backstory.
Nice.
So
Beautiful.
Good times.
Listen, that's more than I asked for.
Although the inclusion of Lissa, the fake Queen of Nightmares, was a fairly recent.
That's awesome.
Is this a fake creature,
can you share?
lore-based fae, or is this something you made up?
No, this is something I made up.
Nice.
I did find it interesting that REITHA was assuming she followed the same person that Godric worshipped as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Witch of Prophecy. Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that part I knew.
There was the whole thing with the feather turning into a batwing as well.
Yes, that was creepy.
I loved it. I don't care what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was great.
I loved it. It was so creepy. I say creepy as a compliment.
I was kind of hoping the mouse... Was it a rat or a mouse? I keep forgetting the damn speech.
It's a mouse.
Yeah.
It's a mouse.
I was hoping the mouse turned into a rabid bat creature that looked like a mouse.
I really thought about it.
Listen, I
really
hope that
did.
rat...
Yeah, he's like a little barn mouse.
When are we going to go to the next town to get a new cat for our party?
Yeah, now we just go on pet
No
quests.
more party members, please. For the love of God.
No more pets, no more party members.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just hire some orphans in the orphanage real quick.
Yeah, alright. Speaking of lightning, the mana surges that happened.
Oh, it's confirmed that REITHA has heart palpitation issues. That's all.
So, Shivani, specifically for you, do you have any ideas as to why that might have happened?
Oh, I assume that it's like withdrawal symptoms from the dream root. But I don't know, like, does that mean that this imbalance has always existed? Like, this sort of...
I think my headcanon for that, just to point this out real quick, if I remember how dream root worked, it sucks the nourishment and the life essence of a person that gets stuck with that stuff.
Yeah.
It does once it fully infects them, but it still has to be in a living state.
Right. So what if this is like a suppressant?
Yeah, so when the dream root is cut away from its living state, like the lichen, basically, so the moss is a living state. Once it's taken away from its source, it loses all of that after about an hour, and then it's able to be crushed into dust. So it won't infect you at that point. It won't continue growing.
But it's like interesting to think about, like, what if this genuinely, like, yeah, it clearly has some negative downsides, but what if this is genuinely something that has been suppressing her violent bursts of magic? Or it's withdrawal symptoms and she's, like, out of control right now.
It is confirmed you are losing control.
For sure.
You have a manacle that is keeping you in check.
The mana suppression cuff, yeah.
Yeah, fun. That she does not like that at all.
Again, I need to make it clear, you can take it off at any point.
Oh, I know, but she still doesn't like it.
Okay.
I'm 12 and I'm angry.
Yes, this is a temper tantrum, Jon.
I want chicken nuggets. We're in the forest, child.
This is like when a dog gets a collar, like one of those cone collars put on them so they won't scratch a wound, and they just make eyes at you.
You're describing your character as a dog with a cone of shame.
Yes,
okay.
The cone of shame.
Okay, so I now, for whoever's listening to this right now, I would please love some fan art of her while she's struggling with the cone of shame. I would really love that. Please and thank you.
What dog would your character be? What dog breed?
I'm a mutt. I don't know what I am. 100% Gil is a German Shepherd.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I have a feeling.
I think REITHA's got to be like some kind of like little.
You're like a Shih Tzu or
dog.
something.
REITHA's a fucking Chihuahua.
No, she's not. No, she's not. Don't be rude.
It's a Shih Tzu. It's all.
It's more of a Shih Tzu. I would say she's like a Shih Tzu. Yeah, I'd give her a Shih Tzu.
And for the little Drake, it's actually a person. We're just gonna have a personified little Drake just holding our leash. That's all.
Yeah.
Varuna is the dog walker.
Yeah, a dragonborn dog walker. Just an anthropomorphic.
Yeah, so after all of these general interactions, of course, you guys come into the town, you make your way to the Frowning Jester, and then we ended the episode off with a song. Thoughts on that?
You have a nice singing voice.
Well, thank you.
That bard is so dead, but blessed.
100% that bard is dead. That might be our new party member that we have to protect. He is speaking too many truths right now.
So you guys have access to the lyrics, right? Do you have any insights specifically about the lyrics?
I don't have insights, but I want to know who this bard's fucking sources are. Because holy shit. He Woodward and Bernsteined these people.
Yeah, so the verses I specifically want to draw attention to are verses 3 through 6 specifically.
The not one air but two? Come on.
Into the air a coin toss.
It's you, Gil.
That's right. Into the air a coin toss. I'm going back to my forest after this. I've had enough of you damn humans. Going back.
I'm waiting for Gil to do the get off my lawn meme. Waiting for it.
Get off my fucking lawn.
No, like verse 3 with the lost throne and all this stuff. There's a lot of trigger words in this one.
Into the air a coin tossed. A king will rise once more. It's very interesting.
Especially also the coin imagery. After we had some coin-heavy discussions.
When was REITHA given the coin?
She was given to it before the beginning of the campaign.
I thought it was at episode 1.
No, it was episode 1.
No, because we started episode 1 with the dragon fight. You got it before.
Oh, yeah, it was Mordecai who gave it to
Yeah.
So.
And a little bit of background, Mordecai is a priest that they met in Verace.
Fuck that guy. He knows too much.
But yeah, they met him in Verace. They don't really know much of anything about him, but he knows a lot about REITHA.
Seemingly.
So it brings into question if we're going off this saying a coin is tossed, then that's probably why you can't do any identify on that coin. Maybe it was used or something.
But if it was used, then it would register as a previously magic item, no longer.
No. The fact the coin is not being used yet because the fact of the matter is I saw the well. Or whatever that well is. I'm assuming it's a wishing well. As an offering. Something was able to trigger the effect for that to happen.
Yeah. She's the Queen of Nightmares, Lyssa? But Cersei is the Witch of Prophecy. And they're like reflections of each other, correct?
Yeah, I think that's how that went.
Of the sort.
And then verse 4, what was a tale of war of old is now a story of knights of old. Okay. Then it's the sons of Wolf upstate all gold. Instead they ride for the king foretold. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, like
Wolves.
It's talking about the knights that did the coup, like Knights Order. I'm assuming it's the Knights Order. Or is it the Church? Are they both the same?
It was the Church.
Yeah.
It was the Church.
Are they not the same?
The Knights are the Paladins of the Church.
So the Paladins of the Church and the King's Knights are two separate entities.
Okay, so...
Okay.
However, it's the Sons of Wolf abstain of gold. Instead, they ride for the King foretold.
Is it really smart of us to be decoding this prophecy? Because you know what happens when you try to decode a prophecy.
Yeah, Percy Jackson.
Then it continues on, verse 5. The king foretold he first must roam the lands we call our sacred home. Okay, whatever. So, some guys walking around the lands. Okay. The lands he will rule, he must explore. If not, it is known he's a king no more.
It's about you.
It's Simon.
You're exploring the world.
It's Simon.
Yeah, right.
One last truth I dare to share, a truth so bold it's sure to scare. The church, they think us unaware. The king has two, not just one heir.
Yeah, that part I'm not too sure.
You could roll a nat 20 insight and still think it was someone else.
This is very in the air, and this is a propaganda piece. This is not anything else. So,
And then, of course, it's also, they're mentioning now the king has
Yeah.
two, not just one heir. Is it, was it the prince that was killed and whoever the other one is, or is it the other person and somebody else? It's like we don't know.
And also, Gil knew his parents.
Oh, he did, right? He was 14, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
but that does bring us back to the journal, though.
Yes, it does.
the journal has said some stuff for you. I'm not.
Going back to the journal.
Specifically, the 19th day of
Yeah.
Atlas Decline,
Yeah.
643.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. You're gonna have to rule the country at the end of this campaign. It's kind of how it is.
I'm going back to my forest.
I mean, yeah, and they'll build a castle around that forest and expand the land.
No.
It's done. It's over. You will have a queen like no other.
It's no longer Groundhog's Day, it's Gil Day. If he comes out and sees a shadow.
You could always cede the throne to someone else.
So here's another thing about this. It
Leaves it to Varuna.
Oh my god.
Varuna rule the country.
I do say this: the fact that it's saying a king of two is not just one heir. It remind me again here, John. Are there other ruling bodies around this continent, or no, or near these continents? It could literally just mean a running for the land around it.
So you have the 5 human kingdoms, each with their own ruling force. 3 of them are a monarchy. Those are Torgov, Saradina, and Severn. And then Zapad and Dakin have their merchant councils.
War may happen because this piece is talking about war, old and new, and the oldest and newest war is everyone fighting for each other to get the most control of the land.
The interesting thing here, though, is it's been more than a week now, and there's been no talk about any movement from any of the
Granted,
5
we haven't been looking.
kingdoms.
That's our own problem there.
Yeah, we fucked up to the woods.
But, like, specifically talking, like, the Riftwalkers, right? If something was happening, they would know. Nothing's happened yet. And on top of that, Varese is outside of the borders of any of the 5 human kingdoms. It doesn't belong to any of them.
Yeah, and Varese, like, it just had a coup happen, and on top of it, Leywin was burnt to the ground because of the dream root.
Infestation.
Yeah, and
Do we know that's why it was burnt to the
That is
ground?
true.
We don't. We just know that that's another place that has been, like, quote unquote destroyed. But it's like nobody else seems to be witnessing any sort of unrest. But the Bard is so confusing to me in the sense that there doesn't seem to be unrest, but there's already propaganda songs.
So this could have been something in the wing, and they were waiting. Remember, there was a coronation.
This song could be 20, 30, 40,
That
50
too.
years old.
That too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so let's just think this for a sec. It could have been 200 years old prophecy, and it's finally, we're lucky enough it's happening. That's what's happening. Or this is a case of, we knew the coronation was happening X amount of months. Let's get our bards to start saying this propaganda song for shits and giggles and say it's a story, a fairy tale. or something like a tavern song, and everyone's like, "Oh, hey, it makes no difference." Aha! It's talking about the old kings and yada yada, how sons fight each other.
Yeah.
It could be any of the two.
Yeah. It feels like a plant in some way.
Also, another thing. This is me reaching out there. John, tell me to stop when I'm right or not. This could literally be just an agent of the young priest that helped us out in the beginning. And this is one of their people trying to give us hints of go this way, go that way. Am I warm?
All interesting thoughts.
Yeah, the song isn't exactly pro-church.
100% the church knows we don't know shit.
Doesn't it also say in his verse 6, the church they think is unaware?
Yeah, it's like pro the king? Pro the knights? Or just telling a story. Like, I don't know. It's strange. It reads like a prophecy.
Yeah, so it's basically saying we're not the church. And the church is hiding something.
What I'm getting from this is I did a very good job keeping these lyrics as vague as possible.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, I hate that. So I'm gonna do this because Gil is not. I'm gonna say Gil's not the chosen one. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying.
Let me finish. Let me finish because this is more funny than anything. Instead of Gil being the prophesied king, maybe the two they're speaking of are literally the two guys we've just met that are turned into wolves. Because the son, verse 4 says, the sons of wolves.
Yes.
Of the two sons of a wolf.
I did think of that too. Like, we literally just met.
Also, the surname of the king was Wolfsbane, so,
and these guys are adopted, supposedly.
Well, it also says the wolves ride for the king.
But they're not even from Varys.
It doesn't have to.
They happen to be, around the area.
Alright, well, we're going to end it off there. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you in episode 7.
Goodbye.
You close it on us rambling our conspiracy theories?